What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to something different. This is 90 Minute Fever. It's a football management MMO game which recently launched on the Steam Early Access platform. I've actually been playing it for the last few weeks. I've been really enjoying it. I approached the developers about doing a video on it. They've hooked me up with a really cool deal for you guys who might want to check out this game following this video. So stick around to the end if you want to see how you can get on this game for free for the first few months. And yeah, today I'm just going to be giving you guys a general overview of it. So as I said, this is a football management massive multiplayer online game. There is a singular game world which absolutely everyone plays in. In the top left here you can see all the matches being played right now. Live in the game. You can view any of them if you want just by clicking on them. In the top right we have a public chat, which is a really cool area to kind of see what other people are doing, just have general chats with other managers within the universe. And the thing that I really like about this game, and that's making me play it over Football Manager a little bit, it's just the fact that it's this big online dynamic universe that plays through in real time, whereby each season lasts a month, kind of from day to day. And it's a different experience in terms of the fact you kind of have to negotiate with managers for transfers. There's a lot more to it. The sense of reward, I kind of feel like when you beat another human manager, is vastly superior to kind of pummeling the AI in Football Manager. And I feel like as a game, it's just been a fresh challenge for me to enjoy. So there's a lot about this game, and I feel like I'm going to struggle to cram this into a reasonably length kind of video. So if you've got any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. If you decide to pick up this game and kind of have a look, if you go from the home tab here to information, you can find out all about the game's inner mechanics, which I don't cover today. Or alternatively, you can go to the assistance tab here, and there are community helpers on pretty much at every hour of the day who can answer any questions you have about the game, kind of if you decide to pick it up. So anyway, to talk about how the league system works, as I said, the leagues kind of in the football seasons run from the start of the month to the end of the month. There are various different kind of FAs for different play times that you like to play. Within each FA, there are 100 teams spread across 5 divisions in a ladder format. So the lowest division you'll ever start in upon joining an FA will be the 5th tier, which means that there's some sense of progression, but you're not going to be playing a game like Top 11, where you kind of start in the 3 billionth league and you can only really continue going upwards without that sense of becoming a top team, which is something in this game you really can strive to do. So the way that the match seasons work, if we just come to my calendar here, is that you can play friendly games or league games. The league games are scheduled so they become available throughout the month, kind of staggered out. There is a week period when the game becomes available to play, where if both players are online at the same time, they're allowed to play each other. If both users aren't online at the same time in the week leading up to when the fixture's due, the user who tried to request an official match the most, kind of leading up to that fixture, has the right to play the game even if the opponent's offline. If that person then doesn't play the game within a 24-hour period after the fixture was due, it becomes available for either manager to play, depending on whoever is online soonest. So for the most part, it is manager v manager. If you can't get on at the same time as someone else, you know, you end up playing against the AI. But because of the way the FAs work, and again, this is a really cool feature, you can pick a time zone that suits you and you're more than likely going to be on. So for the most part, you'll be on at the same time as other managers within your league. So anyway, in terms of when you start, you'll be put into a qualifying FA. This is because there's no point in putting you into a league to begin with, you know, halfway through a month. So if you join now, you will be put into a qualifying FA. You'll have a load of games that you're set to play. You'll be playing against other new players, and at the end of the month, you can select an FA that you want to join. So anyway, in terms of the squads, when you start the game, you have a very strong side, a kind of a mid-table championship side relative to everyone else. The top teams, because of the way the finances work, can never really build a sustainable, dominant team, you know, a Barcelona or a Real Madrid. You're really going to be looking at kind of a modern-day Liverpool in a lot of ways, a team that they don't dominate at the top. They're kind of always in and about, but never quite make it. In this game, it's a lot like that, and I like the fact that when you start, you'll be a mid-table championship side, taking on kind of a top 7 Premier League side, because it means you've always got a chance in any game that you play, and your tactics kind of can play a large role towards your success in that sense. So anyway, in terms of the teams, well, if we look here, if you've ever played Football Manager, this is going to look vaguely familiar to you. This game is kind of much in the spirit of Football Manager Live if you ever played that game, and a lot of the developers who have been working here on 90 Minute Fever have played FM Live in the past, before, of course, it was shut down some years ago. This is my star striker, Ozcan. As I said, when you start, you're given a squad. He's a pretty good player. He's one of the strikers I was given when I started. He averages a goal every other game in the league, a 7.25 average rating for him. And yeah, he is a pretty good player, I think it's fair to say. So because of the way the game works, as I said, you start off with a fairly strong side. You can be pretty competitive against kind of anyone. The other nice thing that I really like about this game is the fact there are no microtransactions in the game itself. It's a subscription pay model where you pay £5 a month, or you can pay it further in advance, and I think it goes all the way down to £2.50 a month if you pay for a year's subscription in advance. And yeah, the way this game works is you pay that fee and that's that. There is no kind of pay to progress. The other thing worth noting is whilst you can play friendly games or super friendly league games, which is a big ladder where everyone plays everyone and it's kind of like a high score leaderboard in terms of the number of games you play, these friendlies don't actually contribute towards your kind of overall development of your team. It's a lot more for learning the match engine, tweaking tactics, trying players out in different positions. And really, with this game, you can realistically play 30 minutes to an hour every day and get the same amount out of the game as someone else. In terms of transfers, again, you don't have to sit and play 24 hours a day, kind of, scouting out every single player, because the way the game works is when someone makes a bid on a player and it's accepted, the player enters a 24-hour kind of auction period. So, for example, if I decide to sell a player for £1 million and a team bids that, upon me accepting that bid, a 24-hour period kind of begins where it's a blind auction. Anyone can make a transfer offer for that player, and at the end of 24 hours, the highest bidder gets that player. And as a result, you won't miss out on any of the high-profile players that become available in the transfer system. You can kind of look at some of the transfers wrapping up and then elect to make a bid on that player accordingly. So again, that's another thing I really like, and the negotiation progress and the kind of process within this game is something that I really, really enjoy. The idea of messaging another manager, having spotted one of their players, kind of asking how much are you wanting for him, and kind of having this back and forth negotiation, maybe agreeing on a bid, maybe not. And it's a lot more dynamic and a lot more immersive in a lot of ways than Football Manager because of that kind of live human-to-human kind of side of things, which Football Manager simply doesn't have, and I, in a lot of ways, wish that FM did have. So yeah, I've really been enjoying this game. As I said at the start, it's in early access, and I think where that is most apparent is within the match engine itself. So the match engine is text-based right now. If you've ever played old-school Championship managers, you'll be fine with that. If you're a new kind of or newer Football Manager players used to the match engine, that might put you off, but I think it's worth reiterating. This game is in early access. It's very much a work in progress, and a 2D match engine is in the works, but, well, as you've seen with Football Manager, if you play that game's been in development for decades. The match engine is nowhere near perfect. I think SI would be the first to admit that. And so I believe that the developers of 90 Minute FIFA, they want to get the match engine right before they kind of launch it out. So in terms of team instructions, these are somewhat lacking at the moment. There is just 4 sliders. I believe there are more coming on the way as the match engine develops. I believe the game is meant to be in early access for around the next year. Obviously, if the game takes off, maybe there'll be more development kind of time put into the game, more people involved, which would be cool to see the direction the game could go in. And right now, as I said, I feel like the word to use for this game is potential. If you want to try out this game, now is the best time because it's just come out this week. There's kind of floods of new players involved. There's no kind of world beta teams at the moment. Everyone is fairly new to this game world, and as a result, it's a really good time to kind of get involved with it and give it a go. So anyway, that's kind of a brief overview of this game right now. I'm going to flash up some match engine gameplay here so you can see it. But as I said, this game has potential. I've really been enjoying it. I think I spent about 100 hours playing it in the last 3 weeks to give you an idea of how much time I've put into it. I like the kind of the MMO nature of it. I like the human-to-human interaction. It's a very social game. The community is really, really friendly. And the game world just kind of feels alive because there are no artificial intelligent kind of managers. There's one more thing I want to talk about before I talk about how you can get this game for free, and that is actually kind of the Regen System in this game. So at the start of every month, a pool of players are developed called youth players. Now, these players are all, well, as you'll see by some of their names, legends from different eras of football. So whilst there's no current world footballers within this game, what this game does is that every month a pool of regens are kind of produced as 15-year-old players who are kind of legends of football from all different periods of time. Now, as I said, they appear at the start of the month. Each of these players becomes available in an auction format for transfer within the last week of the month. So, for example, if we look at Di Canio here, you can see he becomes available on the 28th of July. So he will become available, people can bid on him, and all of these different players will sign for different teams within the game world. And what this will mean is in kind of 10 months' time, when the game has had 10 seasons, these players will be 25 years old and really hitting their prime. And a lot of teams, I imagine, are going to be made up of these legends of football. So this is a really cool system. I'm really excited to see how this could develop if you could make kind of a England all-time time 11 kind of in the future. And for example, there's just all kinds of players. There's not just crazily good players. You've got players like Vieira, Yari Litterman, Tacanio, but then you've also got players you probably just wouldn't recognise. And the other cool thing about when you find a player you don't recognise is there's a Wikipedia link you can click here and it'll take you to their Wikipedia page and you can read up on that player. And a lot of these players have some really interesting stories. And as I said, as this game progresses, I think that's going to be a really neat feature about this game. So anyway, that is an overview for 90 Minute Fever. It's available on Steam. As I said, it's a subscription-based game. However, if you go down to the description of this video, there's going to be a link to a survey. The developers have provided a survey, which if you fill in, you will get a free key for Steam to give you a free month on this game. So what you need to do is, as you can see on screen now, fill in the survey, make sure you put in your email correctly. You will be sent an email shortly after filling it in with a Steam key. Once you have that Steam key, you redeem it on Steam, as you can see on screen again. When you download and launch the game client for the first time, you'll be asked to create your club. You'll see a box on screen that says kind of promotional code. Within that, if you write the code WTSREF, R-E-F, WTSREF, you get an extra free month on top of the free month you've got from the Steam key. So you actually get 2 months for free. So hopefully you guys will check out this game. As I said, it's in early access, it's work in progress. It's worth checking out. Who knows, maybe we could get a Work the Space FA going so that we can all play in the same league. I'm definitely going to be doing some more videos on this game. They'll probably come out like every week. I'll talk about my transfers, how my team's developing and all that good stuff. And yeah, other than that, guys, thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you've got any comments or questions about this game, leave them down below. Just to be clear, this is not a sponsored video. I actually played this game before kind of communicating with the devs about the fact I'd like to make a video and making this agreement with the Steam keys and the survey with them. Hopefully you'll check that out. The only way I am being paid for this video, just to be clear, is through a kind of the referral system. If you then go on to become a paying customer of this game going forward, if you enjoy it after the 2-month trial, I make a very small percentage off your monthly subscription fee that you pay. Anyway, guys, hopefully, as I said, you enjoyed this video. Appreciate if you've watched until this point. Hopefully, we'll see some more 90 Minute Fever coming this way on my channel soon. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.